call the names. Wake the room. Wake the room. Wake the room! Luyu, Rex, Pam Ray, Naomi, Afasiana, Babbler, Monarch Soul, Jojo, Greyeyes, fill my eyes. Poets assemble. No masks, no manners. Say it plain, or say it broken. Monday night in the garden of enlightenment. Low light lit minds, every line got intent. Clock ticks crooked and the room turns vigilant. Quiet so loud you can hear what the tension meant. Then it slips after midnight, manners get murdered. Nice little masks get cracked by a word or a murmur. Twisted Tuesdays twist truth till it turns on its heel. Clean cut faces go strange when the dark gets real. You can feel that shit, that slick little slip when the grin stays sweet, but the eyes don't sit. Like the room grew ribs, like the walls grew ears, like the hush got hands and it's pulling you near, and the words don't rest, they press. Put a heel on the chest, leave a dent in the breath. Every line like a knock from the back of the brain. Like you came in one shape, you won't leave the same. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown in the soft dough dim. Late night poets, hear the whole thing shift from a whispering the ribs to a line that lifts from the darkened edge of doubt to the pull you can't ignore. We don't just read the night, we make it something more. Say it plain, say it broken. Late night poets, Wednesday breaks, parts in the park, sink down the spine, half halo, half hazard, both hands in the light. In the yard of seduction walks soft through the smoke, silk on the tongue with the blade in the joke. Books and bards wakes dust in the depth of the shelves. Old ghosts lean out and start naming themselves in a craft and sullen. Not the ache gets a voice, pain stands up straight and makes silence a choice. Then break on through when the devil gives way, when the masses sink but the pulse says pray. Echoes in the dark, oh hun, the fear, that thing with no name starts ringing in your ear. Say it, say it. Fill my eyes with poetry, don't water it down. Let it bite, let it bloom, let it burn through the crowd. Bad company grins like a bruise, dressed smart, and rhythm and rhyme puts a boot through the heart. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown in the soft dome dim. Late night poets, hear the whole thing shift from a whisper in the ribs to a line that lifts from the darkened edge of doubt to the pull you can't ignore. We don't just read the night, we make it something more. Say it plain, say it broken. Late night poets, some come shattered, some come slick. Some speak honey with a blade in it. Some sound velvet, some sound wire. Some walk in low and take the room higher. Some come holy, some come liars. That's the thing! This ain't filler for the dead space, no. There's a pulse with a pen, there's a blood with an echo, there's a breath to the backbone, ink for the crown. Live mics, live nerves, truth laid bare in the round. This is the beautiful mess, the bruise and the bloom, the line that cuts clean and makes a little room. Late souls, wide eyes, all nerve in the dark. A room full of hearts beating hard through the dark. Wake the room, wake the room. Late night poets, where the room leans in, where the sharp gets shown in the soft dome dim. lips past polite. We tell the truth. LNP, we love you. Stay frosty.
I think you need to unmute, Grey.
Yeah, let me repeat that. Hello, world. Happy Saturday night. You are listening to Greyeyes Smith, and this is Bad Company. Tonight's show is brought to you by a contest that I did on AllPoetry called Summertime, and it's just an open poetry and welcoming summertime rights as well as maybe some open poetry, however it looks. But yeah. So, hi, Pam. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Grey, how's it going?
Hello, Pam. Oh, good. Thank you. And how are you?
Oh, it's going good. I can't believe we're already gone from springtime poetry to summertime poetry. Time flies when you're having fun.
And I look forward to it. So I will get us started with a poem here.
Oh, I can hear you
And
now, Grey. I couldn't hear you
this
before for
is,
some reason. So, um, can you hear me?
oh, I'm sorry. My Life of Riley by Way Down Upon Joy. Yes, I can.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to post this into the group. And can you give us a read when you see this, Pam?
Absolutely. I would be happy to do that. Also, just so you know, if you'd like, after this one, I can go ahead and post links and assign readers for you if that works for you.
Oh, okay.
All
Sure.
right. Yeah, no problem.
That works.
All
Thank you, Pam.
all right. My Life of Riley by Way Down Upon Joy. When the beads form on my forehead, for the sun displays its face, I am adding cubes to coffee as I dream of breathing space. 'Cause I know I'm in the tropics and it's time to plan my day, for the sun gets any hotter with its radiant display. There is something quite instinctive about the way I just accept how my mind slips quick to thinking about that place that's cool and wet. It's a southern sort of posture that is met with southern grace when the beads form on my forehead, for the sun displays its face. There's a beach that's surely waiting with white sand and standing seas, where the wind is surely playing in the arms of swaying trees. So I'm packing up my cooler and 6 packs of Royal Crown, stacking up the bread with fixins, then I'm icing them all down. Grab my beach bag from the table where it parks right handily. Grab a towel and grab some lotion. Don't forget the MP3. I can leave behind my troubles, send my frown to outer space when the beats from forehead for the sun displays its face. There's something kind of steamy about the weather we have here, not exactly like a sauna, 'cause it's saltier than there. All the orange trees seem to love it, as do lemons and key limes, and the many blooming flowers, Spanish moss and clinging vines. At the beach, the cooling breezes tease my senses all day long, while I sit neath my umbrella with my too cool Ray-Bans on. I can dream that I am sailing, leave behind that old home place when the beads form on my forehead, for the sun displays its face. There's no point in belly aching about the rain that's overdue. I just wipe my brow and ponder all that northern folks go through. They're shoveling snow and scraping ice, and I'm missing all this bliss. Where warming winds kiss cooler seas, there is not to find amiss. I can think of nothing finer than the joy of surf and sand. All my senses stand elated, sated by this promised land. Florida, the land of sunshine, holds me in its warm embrace when the beads form on my forehead, for the sun displays its face. And poem.
Beautiful read, Pam, and a wonderful write as well. Um, I've always kind of been a bit envious of Floridians, just because of their weather, their wildlife. Um, there's an author's note on this that's much longer than the poem, so if you're interested, please feel free to take a look at that. Um, but I like the write. I like the beach. You can almost feel the sand on your toes. Grab a towel, grab some lotion. Don't forget the MP3. I can leave behind my troubles and set my frown to outer space when the bees form on my forehead or the sun displays its face. Yeah, there's something so, I don't know, you can smell the salt air and feel the breeze blowing on your face, on your sweaty face because the sun is so hot. Um, you know, I've heard that you can burn your feet on the sand in Florida because it's so hot. Um, so yeah, I mean, wow, what a powerful summer they have, and hats off to um, Joy. What way down upon Joy? She did a fantastic right here. I thought she captured the essence of summer with um, marksmanship and skill. So nicely done. And your thoughts, Family?
Oh, I have to agree. This is such a fabulous write for a summer contest. Wonderful imagery, a treat for the senses. I did tell her that yes, a northerner like me would most likely melt on the sidewalk. I really enjoyed reading this. I liked the use of inner and end rhyme, the use of repetition and the imagery throughout. And, I thought there was great lines, but I especially liked the third stanza that mentions the flowers and the fruit, because to me, that would be what would make Florida worth it. Worth the humidity, worth the hurricanes and everything else is the beauty and the abundance of the fruit and flowers. So just an amazing write by Way Down Upon Joy, and very well done.
I watched something somewhere where the lizards fall out of the trees during cold snaps because they freeze,
Oh
and they
yes, the iguanas.
yeah, exactly.
Yes, yes, I saw that too. That was actually when we had across the country some um extra cold weather that was in the news quite a bit. And I think I saw something, though I don't know if this is true, but it could be because they eat alligators. I saw like news stories of people grilling iguanas on on the barbecue. So and
Yeah,
and they I tell you, if it can be grilled, we will grill it.
no, yeah, absolutely, that's for sure. And I mean, why not? They got such beefy little legs. I'm sure that like we eat frogs up here in Canada, so why not get iguanas in
Exactly.
Florida?
Exactly. Yeah. If people can eat frogs and they can eat alligator and they can eat fish, I mean, unless they're an endangered species, which I don't get the impression they are, I don't see why people couldn't eat iguanas, you know. So
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely.
But yeah, I think that they're an invasive species to Florida, much like monkeys down there are invasive because they've gotten out from some sanctuary and spread across Florida. So yeah, Florida monkeys.
Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff, I tell you. It's honestly it's like Florida to me is just like some mystical country. Well, probably because I've never been there. Like I know the people who live there, it's not, but to me, it just seems like like you know what I mean, like completely. Well, to you, it is another country, but you know what I mean.
It's another world, really. It's really a world unto itself.
It really yes exactly exactly. All
Yeah,
right, so up next, I've put Summer in Time by Poetic Prince R.W. And go ahead, please, Gray, whenever you're ready.
sure. I love plenty green grass growing with flowers, fireflies flickering at shows at nighttime, their bioluminescence internal nightlights splashing, people pleasuring by the beach with hot sunny sun tanning. Builders are there on beaches building wet sandy castles. Swimmers are swimming and snorkel the blue water. Sun illuminate many bike trails for mountain bicycling. Sun rays light up parks for us to have some fun, festive fraternizing. The days are longer with sunsets aglow with lavender tinge orange. July 4th has tasty outdoor tender treats of barbecuing. Summer sun brings short sleeves, boasters, bulging biceps, freedoms, a most pleasurable thing in this most seasonal season. End poem. And your thoughts, fam, right?
Well, great read there, Gray. Oh my goodness gracious. Now I've got bulging biceps dancing across my mind. You
Yeah.
know, this is a great write. It's got wonderful imagery. I like how it speaks on summertime, summer get-togethers, and celebrating the 4th of July. I thought there were some great lines throughout. But I like the imagery that he brings into the third stanza with the sunsets aglow with lavender and tinge orange, and then the end stanza, you know, with the mention of tasty outdoor tender treats of barbecuing, and freedom's a most pleasurable thing of this most seasonal holiday. And I say amen to that. That's it's always a wonderful time when we can celebrate the freedoms that we have. So excellent, excellent right, and very well done.
Absolutely. This thing's won, I don't know, 5, 10, 15, 20, 20 green, so third place ribbons, um, 6 bronze, and 4 gold. So it's a really well rounded poem. It made itself around for sure. But, it was a nice picture painted. Every word is fantastic. It's a delightful summer poem. I really enjoyed the the builders there are there on the beaches building wet sand castles. That's always one of my favorite things as a beach dwellers to take a little bucket and build sand castles. Because you build them and then they get washed away, and I've always thought that was fantastic watching them get washed away. So nicely done, poetic Prince R.W. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We're off to a great start when it comes to summertime rights.
Yeah.
And all right, so gotta post this next one in a couple spots, and then all right, we have The Summer of My Life Has Come by the poet, and we have a SoundCloud for that, so fingers crossed that we both hear it tonight, Gray. All right.
The Summer of My Life Has Come by Rachel Lawson. The summer of my life has come. My life is coming to its end. My end will come in my autumn's fall. I wait in the warmth of my later days. My fall will come with the winds that blow the leaves off the past years away. By the freezing winters of death, I shall feed the grasses of the springs of lives to come. Beyond my death, I shall live on in my children's seasons of life. The summer of my life has come. My life is coming to its end.
Wow. Those not your I mean it's summer like, but it's kind of dark and gloomy. But who said that you can't have death when the season of life has turned into autumn? And the summer of my life has come. My life is coming to an end. Wow, that's a dark poem, but it was well written and well read. So nicely done. Thank you for sharing that. The poet, beautiful job. And Pam Ray, what did you think?
It was beautifully written. It was much darker than I would think of summer, but I get where she was going metaphorically, since the summer of your life comes just before the autumn of your life, and I don't know. Um, I guess it's just to me it definitely speaks well on the idea of acknowledging that time is passing and you're getting older. So, great use of extended metaphor and nicely done. Absolutely. Thank you very much, the poet, for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
All right. And up next, we have Dive Right In, A Swingin' Summer by Dark Night of the Soul. And let's see here. I will give that a read. All right. Summer's almost here. Want some tannin on the skin. Blue waters a beamin', watermelon grin. Cookouts in the air, butter me up some corn. But the beaches are a calling to a life that I was born. Dive right in, dive right in. Summer's almost here. Looking for a swim, sun in my face, sand in my toe. Nothing like the summer, no. Go, daddy, go, go, go. Waist deep in the water, breathing salty air. Sand gets in my pants, shake it out my hair. Pretty people parties, smell of sunblock cool. Tunes get me dancing, dancing. Got a date at swimming school. Dive right in, don't drag me under, honey. This fish has got to swim. Sun in my face, sand in my toe. Nothing like the summer, no. Go, daddy, go, go, go. Hey there, pretty thing. Got that impish grin. A little flirty flirt, looking for a spin. Really like your style. You've got one sexy fin. How about some you and me time? I'll let you dive right in. Dive right in, dive right in. Nothing like a flirty fin. Nothing like a flirty flirt giving me a sexy fin. Sun sun in my back, sand in my toe. Nothing like the summer, no. Go, Daddy, go, go, go. Dive right in, I said. Dive right in. Give me a shot, babe. I'll let you take a spin. Summer on my head with the water's cool and flow. You know you want to be me, son. So go, Daddy, go, go, go. End poem.
Great read. Would you mind reading the author's notes, Family?
And this one's author's note says, this poem so weirdly just came to me while in the pool. I was inspired to write a swing tune. Hope this reads as fun as it was to write. This is an ode to fun. It's not condoning irresponsible gatherings. I like that. That is awesome.
Yeah. I thought it had a fantastic groove expressing the wonderful sentiments of summer. You did a beautiful read of it, Pam Ray. I really enjoyed the go, 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 go. Because that's what summer is. You just want to splash and frolic and sand and flirt and, frolic. So I thought it was beautifully done and a beautiful read as well, Pam Ray. What did you think, Pam Ray?
Oh, I really enjoy this, and definitely with the use of repetition of go, 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 daddy, go. It definitely had that swing music vibe to it. So, I just really thought it was great all the way through. Fun, entertaining lines. This definitely put a smile on my face. Um, and it was so upbeat. It had a wonderful lyrical quality, and I like how it all the way through it speaks on the idea of just enjoying summer, enjoying the water, the warmth, the time to flirt and have some sexy fun. So excellent write by Dark Night of the Soul, and very well done.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Pam Ray. All
Yeah,
right. What do we do
absolutely.
next, Pam?
All right. Well, up next we have Summer Evening by Right Blue 7. And go ahead, please, Gray, and give that a read.
Sure. This sultry summer evening, the sun is reluctant to leave. As it dips over the hilltops, long shadows start to weave. The evening breeze in the greenwood excites the leaves on trees, whilst we stroll through nature's garden in a calm that's sure to please. A late blackbird high in the tree tops sings its evening refrain in a country landscape which is longing for cooling rain. The fox and badger start to hunt to feed their hungry brood, and the owl hoots while scanning the meadow for families for the family's food. Bats, swallows, martins fill the sky and join the evening dance, all catching insects on the wing while they still have the chance. Crickets and frogs start their recital before the moon arrives, when the sun leaves and the wonder of stars fills the cloud-free skies. It's time to rest from the heat of the day, safe in your own abode, to cool down and refresh our minds for tomorrow's heavy load. Summer days are long, with much to do to protect kith and kin. Let's wake up bright and full of life for a new day to begin. End poem. And your thoughts, family?
Well, great read there, Gray. This is a wonderful write by Right Blue 7. I don't know, like I feel like I don't recognize that name, but I that picture looks familiar. So I don't know if they're new to me or I'm just becoming forgetful. But either way, this is great. This is a poem that makes me think of the idea that not everybody relates summer to beaches. Like I don't live near a beach. I mean, like within driving distance, but because I don't drive, you know, and but I like how this to me is one that is a treat for the senses. I like how he brings in nature. I like how he brings in, like, this is about a summer night and all the different sounds that come from nature that you will hear on that night. And I think there's great lines throughout, but I especially like that second stanza. A late blackbird high in the treetops sings its evening refrain in a country landscape which is longing for a cooling rain. Just wonderful lines and very well done.
Absolutely. Great comment, Pam Ray. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm all about nature, and he captured nature in the summertime in action, and expressed it beautifully. I'm all about birds, capturing their prey so that they can feed their families, and the fox and the badger, the owl, the bats, martins, crickets and frogs. It's just a wonderful right, full of nature, and I'm all about nature. So beautifully done and very summertime-ish. Right by Bright Blue. Thank you for sharing, Right Blue.
Absolutely. Well said there, Gray. All right. Up next, we have Flying High in Venice Beach and by Ed Hunter. And go ahead, please. Wait, is it? No, I'm trying to think here. It is, yes, it is your turn to read. Just had to check that. Nope, it is my turn to read. Okay,
I
got it.
didn't want to correct you. I was going to
Sooner or
read.
later, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. Flying High in Venice Beach by Ed Hunter. Working in LA during the summer of '83 was a vibrant, sophisticated, and a bohemian embodiment. A lively oceanfront beach, boardwalk filled with unique attractions, energy enthralls the 2.5 mile walk with street performers, muscleheads, and artists, a wide, white, sandy beach flowing with sunbathers swimming and a variety of sports. I see topless women throwing frisbees as an older man stands watching. The women, oh, all the lovely women. The homes that line the boardwalk are amazingly beautiful, with small gardens and beautiful flowers. Some have marijuana plants flowing throughout their yards. I pass a man who thinks he is Jesus. Repent, repent, he screams. No one listens. All I see are the women, all the beautiful women, the music, the drums, the ukuleles, roller skating, jogging, dog walking. I passed a clown juggling bananas. The bananas are green and not ripe for eating, but the clown has a hat in the ground for donations and not bananas. The lady who draws cartoon characters resembling your face, amazingly accurate with precise detail. The homelessness and the beggars were there as today they have never gone away. Venice carries its Italian namesake with canals, piazzas, pedestrian bridges, a lagoon, and a colonnaded business district. Last but not least, I see Chuck Mangione carrying a small trumpet case, probably going to play at a bar. End poem.
It's a beautiful read, Pam Ray. And, I like it. I've always wanted to go to Venice Beach because it's such a touristy thing to do. You can watch all the locals living their lives. You can hear the music, the drums, the ukuleles. You can see people roller skating, jogging, and dog walking, clowns juggling, ladies that draw cartoon characters, and the homeless, of course, and the beggars because they've never went away. They've always been there. But uh, I don't know. Venice Beach is something place that I would really love to see, but I doubt if I ever will, just because I'm never going to America. I'm sorry, Pam, but I'm never coming to your
Not
country.
at this point.
No, no.
I don't
But
blame you.
and I'm an American citizen. Like I have a social security number over there as well, because I lived with my dad when I was 15, and I have dual citizenship under my treaty. So I could come and live there, work there, but I have no interest and never would. But no, I thought it was fantastic, right, by Ed Hunter. He was at a birthday party. He was going to call in, but he had to go to a birthday party. So um,
Oh, fun.
in his author's notes, he says, "This was an experience I'll never forget. My uncle was a scientist for UCLA and lived on the beach. It was like walking in a dream." Yeah, that's what I get out of it too. It's like a movie or something that you're walking through and living. But nicely done, Ed. Thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely. Great comment. Great. Yeah, I have to say, this piece to me is very atmospheric. I never really thought about going to Venice Beach before. I think mainly because, to be honest, I'm not a beach person. You know, like I just I don't know. I've never really enjoyed beaches, but I think the way Ed describes this and the way you talk about it, I wouldn't mind going there just for people watching. Like it seems like a just a wonderful place to watch people and observe human behavior. I love the attention to detail in it. It's very atmospheric and got it has this just wonderful bite of humor with all the characters and people that Ed Hunter brings into his poem. Just fun, clever lines throughout, and very well done.
Absolutely. Yeah. What great comment, Emery. Thank you so much. And what did you think? Or sorry, what's up next, Emery?
Up next, we have Sea Salt by Isama Chiba. And go ahead, please, Gray.
Alrighty. In the seasons of life, summer was the height of feeling alive, watching the clear blue skies, the cheerful sunshine, and the sea with its open horizons made the heart leap, chasing the waves with bare feet. When they hit the shore with smooth tides on warm sands. But as winter arrives with its cold breeze and the sparkling snow covers the fields and everything frees, I hold on to the memories of the sea salt on my hands and its taste on my lips until summer comes again with its gentle vibes and foam. What did
Great
you think,
read.
Cameron?
Oh, well, great read there, Gray. I love the imagery in this, and even the title with sea salt, like the smell of that sea salt air. It's just so captivating. I like how that she breaks this up into two parts. That the first stanza is all about the sunshine, the clear blue skies, the heat, and the smooth tides and warm sand. And the second stanza is about remembering those summer days when winter arrives. I mean, it's just a beautifully written brevity all the way through with wonderful imagery and thoughtful lines, and very well done by Isama Chiba.
Yeah, yeah, I enjoyed it as well. Um, you know, the summer of our life is when we're probably, I would say, anywhere from 18 to 40, maybe at the latest. You're kind of into the fall and the in the 40s, but like there's so much life, so much fun, so much adventure to have in the summer of your life. You don't have to worry about the rains or the snow or being cold. You can just be free and enjoy life. So I thought it was a beautiful write by Isama, and yeah, nicely done. I love you, Isama.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great comment, Rex. Not Rex. Sorry, wrong co host. Great. It's so what you're telling us, Gray, is that you've been in the summer of your life at 18 years old for the last 9 years, correct?
Oh
So,
yeah, absolutely.
oh my goodness gracious. All right, let me get the next one up. And all right. Up next, we have Christmas in July by R. Beck 8262. And yes. All right. And it goes like this. What masterminds came up with this Christmas in July? Why was this started anyway? Could someone tell me why? The Einsteins who developed this should be hung up by their thumbs and beaten like a dusty rug because it's just plain dumb. Christmas is not in July, but 5 months down the road. Christmas in the summertime is crap in one big load. The responsible parties should be drugged behind a sleigh or stuffed down a chimney and left there till Christmas Day. They should have to wear Santa's suit and forced to stay outside to embrace the summer heat until their brains are fried. So, what is next? I'm wondering. Easter in October, maybe Halloween in April. Let's just do the whole year over. You can all celebrate what you will, but one thing I won't buy is Yuletide without winter time called Christmas in July. End poem.
Yeah, beautiful read, Pam Ray. But I've got to agree. Um, Christmas in July is just insane. Um, I've never heard of it, but I don't like the idea of it. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if you're a Floridian or somewhere, where you don't get snow. But where you do get snow, that's when you want Christmas. You want to be, you want those stockings hung by the fireplace, and you want the Christmas trees lit up, reflecting in the snow. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I just can't imagine Christmas in July. But the responsible party should be drugged behind a sleigh or stuffed down a chimney and left there till Christmas Day. They should have to wear Santa's suit and forced to stay outside to embrace the summer heat until their brains are fried. This is a rant for sure. I liked it. I liked it. I would have to agree wholeheartedly with them though. And what did you think, Pam Ray?
Oh, this was a delight to read with the rhyme and flow, and the humor was just absolutely fabulous. Um, I kind of agree. I will admit that for me, like you mentioned, now having Christmas in July, because you want the snow, and I would be perfectly fine not having snow for Christmas time. Like that would be one of the reasons that I would be willing to have Christmas in July. The thing I think is dumb, is really dumb, is to have two Christmases. Like that's just greedy. It's like if you want to have Christmas in July for whatever reason, then have it. But don't have one in December also. And if you have one in December, don't also have one in July. July has plenty of its own holidays, but I don't know. I just don't like trying to travel in winter or asking people to travel. I I would much rather, personally, just me, I would much rather celebrate in July. And then I would have burgers. I would have burgers and hot dogs and brats for Christmas. But yeah, no, I do get this though. I do get it, and it is absolutely fabulous in humor with humor. I have to say, for me, I don't know who exactly invented this idea, but I'm pretty sure it had to be someone from up north who didn't want to travel in cold weather, or someone who was really greedy and wanted, another holiday to get gifts. That's all I can think. But this has great lines throughout. But I especially like they should have to wear Santa's suit and forced to stay outside to embrace the summer heat until their brains are fried. So what is next? I'm wondering. Easter in October, maybe Halloween in April. Let's just do the whole year over. I mean, bravo, Arbeck. Great writing and very well done.
Absolutely. Beautiful comment, Pambre. All right.
All right.
Where are we to next?
Let's see what we have next. You know, it's fun to see the different ways that people are sharing on the topic of summer. Oh, Lou. Hello, Lou. Does Lou want to call in or is she just listening?
I think she's just going to listen. She has trouble with her internet where she is.
Oh, okay. All right. Awesome. Well, up next we have To Meadfoot Beach by Halcyon. And go ahead, please, Gray, and give that a read.
Robbie says he's called in.
Oh, okay. Awesome. I will make sure to pick him up.
All right. So we have To Meadfoot Beach by Halcyon. Be blue, bedazzled, sun lifted, on such a sea shimmering day. Be venturesome, and head land high, through ruddy cuts on wooded cliffs. Come to clearings, vertiginous edges that flash the gaze with glistening vista. Be the giddy, be giddy as goats on rugged ramble, then pause a while in sun-soaked perch. Now scale and dip to dappled paths, to e- let each unknown turn be sunlit revelation. Let us flare like newly white sail in gull-tipping light and sweeping azure and poem. What are your thoughts, Family?
Well, great read there, Gray. This is a beautiful written brevity by Halcyon. You know, captivating lines, wonderful imagery. I like how, to me, it speaks on the joy and pleasures found along the beach. And I thought there was great lines throughout. And I like the use of alliteration and wordplay in this. But you know, and the sense of movement that gives it just this really joyful feeling. But I do especially like come to clearings, vertiginous edges that flash the gaze with glistening vista. Be giddy as goats on rugged ramble, then pause a while in sun-soaked perch. Wonderful lines and very well done by Halcyon.
Thank you, Pam. And is Robbie here?
He is. Welcome, Robbie.
Hello.
Hi, Robbie. Welcome to the show. Nice
Hey
to hear
there.
your voice.
Thank you. So with
Sorry, go ahead.
Meadowfoot Beach, I kind of got a feeling of a painting, and I got a feeling of like those paintings, like you see those paintings where it's like watercolor, and it's a kind of a hazy watercolor, like that. There's like horizontal kind of streaks, and it looks like a little grittier, but it makes it look more real. I got that sort of a feeling, and it gave it sort of a certain vitality because it made me feel like I was in the poem, and so I enjoyed the poem for its how vicarious it was that way. It had a bit of a crisis sort of a feel to it. So yeah, it was nice to come across that in this poem.
Absolutely, yeah. Nice comment. Thank you, Robbie. You know, what I got out of it, it took me back to Ipperwash Beach, where on the lake shores of Lake Huron. Um, you know, you had to walk through this trail, and you know, you got to the top of this cliff, and then you had to get down the cliff to the beach at the bottom because it was a dune, like a sand dune, and so you throw yourself off at the top and just roll all the way down to the bottom as kids, and that was a lot of fun. But it took me back to being a child on Ipperwash. So nicely done.
All right. Let's see what we have next. All right. Up next, we have Summer 1976 by John Nakapolo. And go ahead, please, Robbie, and give that a read for us.
Okay, just gotta tab over here quick. I almost knocked over my Michelangelo in the process. I have a Michelangelo statue, and I didn't. Well, I was like, oh no. Anyways, summer 1976. Oh, far away from the mic. The Pinball Machine at 7-Eleven with Spirit of 76 by Gottlieb. Frontiersman waving, astronauts smiling. Archibald McNeil Willards. Famous Revolutionary War painting, cartoonized, flashing. Red, white, and blue. Lights and buzzers. First feelings of patriotism introduced via a game. A lesson learned by a boy wondering about America. End poem.
Nice read, Robbie. And what did you think, Pam Ray?
Oh, I enjoyed this very much. It had such a nostalgic vibe to it. Now, when I was a kid, where I grew up, we didn't have 7-Elevens, but we had a bar that we would go to, owned by my grandmother's cousin, that had the pinball machine, the pool table, and the like the Pac-Man and Space Invaders. The games from the like late 70s, early like 80s. So I like how this feels nostalgic, but it also has these hard-hitting lines that speak to me on lessons learned in a summer of one's youth. And there's such great lines throughout. It's difficult to separate them because they are lines that lead so well one into the other. But I have to say it's those last two stanzas that I think really capture the lesson within the right. So excellent right by John Nakapalo, and very well done.
Yeah, thank you, Pam Ray. But yeah, I remember being a kid. I loved going to 7-Eleven because they always had air conditioned air and Slurpees. So those two things always brought me to 7-Eleven in the summertime. So I like reminiscing about that. Thanks so much for that, John Nakapolo, and thanks so much for the rate. And Robbie, your thoughts?
Yeah, I like the mention of the pinball, the focus on the pinball, because there's something about pinball machines that's just so iconic. It's they're still popular, and even like with video game systems, like your PlayStation and that, they have like their own video pinball games, and and then mixing the patriotism with this pinball game, like it sounded like an all-American pinball game. There's just something so, again, iconic about that. I can hear all the lights, or hear all the sounds, and see all the lights flashing in the pinball game, and there's just it's such a sensory experience, a pinball game. And I like the themes that they have. Pinball games, Like, you'll have like a Alien Invaders one, and you'll see like a goofy alien, walking across the pinball machine and that kind of thing. Only pinball machines have that kind of aesthetic and kind of mechanic, and I appreciate pinball machines for that. It's kind of like vinyl records, they'll never truly go out of style. There'll always be people that like them and make them, and so it gave me a nice nostalgic feeling for that. And it's neat that he introduced the patriotism in here, because I thought it was going to be like strictly about the pinball machine, but then it's a memory of what the pinball machine had meant to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant comment. Thanks so much, Robbie. All right, Pam, where are we shooting next?
All right. Up next, we have Summer by Scraps and Scribbles. And it goes like this. The smell of hoses spray on asphalt heat, or creosote a couple fences down, the wavy haze that warps and bends the street, and water fights on grass that's frazzled brown. The sound of mower engines over there, with smells of fresh cut grass and petrol fumes, the sweating lager from the frigid air, well earned from gruntings spent behind the broom. The way the evening cools and seems to sigh, the metal of the world can now contract, anticipation gleaming in your eye, the time the bloody charcoal took to catch. At last the screaming heat gives up its grip. You chill and watch the hanging baskets drip. End poem.
Beautiful read, Pam Ray. And your thoughts, Robbie?
Well, this had the sort of the. Let me just tab over. Well, when it mentioned like the smell of hoses and then the smell of grass, and that these really are they hit all the spots on all the primary things that you think about when you think of summer. The heat reading off the pavement and that. And it just reminded me of a random fact with like, because when you smell the grass, right? And isn't that a nice smell? But that's like the chemical version from grass of screaming. It's saying, "Help! I'm under attack. Please send help." And when I learned that, I was like, "Wow, that's changed my view forever on cutting grass." And on the last stanza here, the last couplet, at last the screaming heat gives up its grip. You chill and watch the hanging baskets drip. That really reminds me of like when it's been a hot day, but then it finally cools off in the evening and you're able to open your patio doors. I should open my patio door actually now, get some fresh air, and yeah, and like enjoy like some cool off time and water your plants, like your spider plants or whatever, and all that. And it very much gave me the feel of a very typical and pleasant summer day.
Absolutely. Beautiful comment, Robbie. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't remember the smells of summer, especially with water hitting asphalt and the grass cut. And there's just so many smells associated with summer that you don't get in any other season just because it's not there. But I really enjoyed the way the evening cools and seems to sigh. The metal of the world can now contract, anticipation gleaming in your eye. The time the bloody charcoal took to catch. How many times have you tried to light your barbecue and it just not didn't want to catch for some reason, but it finally does, and then it's like, steak on the barbecue or burgers on the barbecue or hot dogs, anything on the barbecue actually in the summertime is a wonderful thing. But yeah, this is great. Was so descriptive, capturing many of the varying aspects of summer life. So nicely done, Scraps and Scribbles. A beautiful read, Pam Ray. What did you think?
Oh, I very much enjoyed this. Great imagery, definitely a treat for the senses with bringing in the sounds and the smells of summer. And I like how the attention to detail with the watering of the hanging baskets, the trying to light up the charcoal in order to start the grill and start doing some outdoor summer cooking. And it just all the way through, there's such wonderful lines that I think really brings summer to life. So very well done by Scraps and Scribbles. All right. Let's see what we have next. Up next, we have Seaside by the Vlama. And go ahead, please, Gray, and give that a read for us.
Sure. The soft, occasional touch of the water, the haziness of the sunset, puts me in a state of a funny dizziness. The sound of seashells, the smell of the salty sea, brings me back to the phenomenon of the beauty ahead. End poem. And what did you think, Tamara?
Oh, this is a wonderful brevity. It's very atmospheric, lovely imagery. I like how it speaks on the happiness and beauty found on the beach. And there's a certain touch of romanticism within this that I really appreciate. Um, like the reference to a state of funny dizziness almost seems like it's referring to not only the emotion felt in the moment when looking at the sunset and the seaside, but it also feels like the idea of how one would feel when they're madly in love. So excellent and very well done by the Vlama.
Thank you, Pam Ray. And Robbie, what did you think?
I very much got the feelings and sensation of like when you're especially when you're close by the seaside, like almost next to it, and you're hearing the whoosh, the back and forth, and you're smelling the salt in the air because you're so close to the edge. And it's like there's that general experience of the seaside, but there's also the experience that gets heightened, I think, when you're right close to the edge. I remember when I was a kid, when I was younger, and they had like the 8-bit and 16-bit games, and they had Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger. They're like just some of the most famous role-playing games of all time, adventures, and they had like seaside sounds. I mean, they weren't the best, but it was still relaxing, and just the general atmosphere of the game was very relaxing and meditative, and it reminded me fondly of those times when I was hearing those whooshes and kind of being immersed in this fictional world of calming seaside. And yeah, it makes me want to go to places where there are more, like it's a bigger seaside, because we have the marina and there's beautiful sounds there too, but I don't hear like that bigger whoosh, and I don't really smell the salt air as much where I am, because it's like we have Lake Superior, and it's more like lapping in that, and it's its own thing. It's nice to experience both, but yeah, I would like to experience that closer to the edge of the very edge of the shore someday.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. 100% you need to get there. It calls to you, Robbie. You must get to it. Maybe the buses will be working and you can take a bus.
Oh, I don't know about that, Gray.
All right. Yeah, they can be obnoxious for sure. But yeah, excellent. Right, Valama. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, Pam Ray, where are we to next?
Well, up next we have Lovely Summer by Asteria. And go ahead, please, Robbie, and give that a read for us.
All right. Lovely summer. Lovely summer. Bright, hot, sunny days prepare me for sticky humidity covering me. Time to run through the water sprinklers. My friends and I laugh to see who gets the wettest. Green, thick woods, brown, golden brown grass, red-headed woodpeckers. I gaze, get my camera, and take beautiful pictures. With creative imagery and colors I can frame to last a lifetime. Soft breezes, dark blue sky, white twinkling stars prepare me for sleep. On a soft green grass like a mattress. In a minute, my eyes are closed. End poem.
Beautiful read, Robbie. And I bet you like this just because of the photography aspect of it, eh?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. There's something about um, taking a minute to capture a moment that will last you a lifetime, and summer offers that in so many ways. You can take pictures of birds, sky. You don't have to worry about rain or snow getting on your camera, and you know, soft breezes, dark blue sky, white twinkling stars prepare me for sleep on the soft green grass like a mattress. In a minute, my eyes are closed. Yeah, um, I've never slept on. Well, yeah, I have. I guess I have slept on lawns before. So, but we won't talk about those drunken days. But summer is the time to get outside, enjoy the fresh air, enjoy the beauty of nature, and take pictures of it with your camera. Um, Green thick woods, golden brown grass, red-headed woodpeckers. I gaze, get my camera, and take beautiful pictures with creative imagery and colors I can frame to last a lifetime. That's the beauty of photography. You can capture the moment, frame it up, and put it on a wall or a desk or a shelf, and it's there with you forever. And you're always transported back to that time when your eye captured that moment for in perpetuity. So nicely done. And Pam Ray, what did you think?
Oh, I think this is beautiful. I have to say, I'm hearing a lot of like repetitive static noise, and I hung up and came back, so I'm pretty sure it's not me. But if I could have Gray, if you're all right with the hanging up and then coming back, and then I'll pick you up while Robbie and I comment, and then if that doesn't work, I'll have Robbie do
Okay,
that.
sure. No
All
problem.
right. Thank
All right.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you. All right. So this is a beautiful write by Asteria. I love that name. I really enjoy and appreciate how beautiful the imagery is and how thoughtful the lines are. This is an excellent write on the joy in found in the perfect opportunity to capture a photo. And I thought there were great lines throughout, but I did especially like that second stanza. Wonderful lines and very well done by Asteria. And Robbie, you did a great read of that. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, like Grace said, I enjoyed the photography aspect. I love the idea of taking out your your camera and on a nice summer day and getting some photos. I'll never forget when my dad was still around. He let me have his cameras, and I was very lucky because I wanted to get into the hobby. And usually with a hobby, when you get into it, you have to settle for, well, I got this kind of okay camera and that, but he had tons of great cameras. So I was able to take them all, and I took so many pictures that I drained the batteries of 3 cameras that day. And it was wonderful. I just took so many photos. It's a wonderful experience. But I also appreciated the woodpecker in here because I think I've mentioned before, though, yeah, on LNP that woodpeckers have followed my family around a lot. They've a couple have followed me. One followed my cousin, and one was present at my uncle's funeral. And so there seems to be this kind of spirit connection, like a totem thing, between my family and woodpeckers. So when I mentioned the red-headed woodpeckers, that really made me smile too. And yeah, the twinkling stars reminded me of when I fell asleep under the stars in Maui. I was just like, oh, I want to look up at the stars. 20 minutes later, probably. It didn't take long, I don't think. And but that was a beautiful experience too. I'm just glad I wasn't accosted outside, but I think Maui back in the early 2000s was a pretty safe place. So
Absolutely. And great comment. And welcome back, Gray. Well, I think that actually so far has taken care of things. So awesome.
Okay, great. Nice to be here. Thank you, Pam. All right, Pam, where are we to next?
Well, up next, and actually, Robbie, I am going to have you hang up and come back.
okie dokie.
So I'll be right with you. And up next, we have Old Red Barn by Oak Blue 34. And it goes like this. The men who came with crowbars and hammers didn't know my history. All they saw was historic bones that could be sold board by board, then stripped of their stories to become a dining room floor. Sadly, they didn't care about the moo of cows who spent their winters between my walls, the giggles of children who once played in the hayloft, or whispers of pride echoed by the barn cat showing off a newly captured mouse. Nor did they know about the tickle of hay on soft pink skin when young visitors first tasted love on a Saturday evening, or heard the frosty sighs of the winter wind seeping through the chinks, nor felt the mantle of snow weighing on my steep, pitched roof. When they stopped for lunch, I felt stripped bare of secrets, knowing that by day's end my weathered red skin would be hauled away, repurposed as someone's antique dining room floor. End poem.
Beautiful read, Pam. You know what I like? I like the personification of the old red barn. It brings it to life with memories, with events that make it what it was and what it is until it's stripped bare and no longer stands because it's being reharvested, recycled, and repurposed into antique flooring for somebody's house. Um, I mean, so it is going to carry memories. It'll have new memories of new families, of family dinners, of you know, puppy dogs and kitten cats, and it's reborn in my opinion. So I don't take it as a sad thing that it's been torn down and repurposed. I think it's just onto another life and or other lives. Um, yeah, it's sad that it'll be split apart, but it's beautiful that it will bring comfort into a home for a family or families that will admire and be, adored and raved about because everybody loves a wood floor. So nicely done. And is Robbie back?
Yeah,
He
I'm back.
is, yes.
Yeah,
Did you get to hear the poem, Robbie?
yeah. It's interesting to hear the history of something. It's like it gives it an animation, and that it yeah, it's interesting to think about where something has happened, or where something is going, what's happening with it. Is especially with something like this, like you said, like it's not necessarily such a bad thing. It's going towards it's going towards another use. It's when something is torn down and it's for something kind of that's more polluting, or it's for something vulgar or gross, like a sort of a like an egotistical monument or something like that. That's when it's more, but this has like a utilitarian use, and there's going to be memories created in there, in this new house. So yeah, that's more of a history there. And especially wood has a history, whether it's cut down or not. And you like you see it in the bark, like the rings and that. And this makes me think about the history of wood in general, and how it's personified that way and animated.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, before it was a barn, it was a forest. You know what I'm saying? So, and then it became a barn, and then it became a wood floors, and after that, unfortunately, it'll be scrap. But until that point, it's gonna spend 100 years having families raised on it, etc. So beautifully done. And Pam Ray, what did you think?
Well, I really like the perspective that you both have on that. Especially the idea of the old red barn going on to a new life, a new purpose. The idea of refurbishing. The sadness I find in this is that the people who stripped the barn didn't know its history. Like, I feel like if you're going to refurbish an old barn, it would be nice to know the history of it. And Oak Blue 34 puts in his AN, inspired by Homesteader by John Hagg and memories of the red barn at my wife's family farm. Oh, I like that. I like that. And I thought there was great lines throughout, wonderful imagery, and great use of personification. And I thought, I especially liked the first stanza and the closing stanza. So very well done by Oak Blue 34.
Thank you, Pam Ray.
Uh, all right, let's see what we have next. Here we go. And one more place to put this. All right, we have Summer of My Youth by Lynn Gautier, and she was nice enough to supply us with a SoundCloud. So,
Summer of my youth, long-awaited summer, school let out, freedom within my grasp. A new pool next to the sauna cabana built by Dad. Life was perfect. Little did I know, youth was slipping through my fingers.
are you on mute, Gray?
Yeah, I was. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Um, but Robbie, what did you think?
There was such a suddenness with the tone, the change of tone. You hear the beauty of, especially because it's a long awaited summer. And it says school let out. Like what kid isn't so immensely relieved when, yay, school, summer vacation, summer vacation, no more school. and then it ends with "Little did I know youth was slipping through my fingers." That's such existential angst, and it's it's that it really emphasizes that kind of point of view, or that feeling when you're an adult and you look back and you have that awareness of what was going on then and that you didn't before. It would be pretty, and that's the thing. It's preferable to have it that way. I mean, it would be pretty terrible if you, as a kid, you already had the realization that that life is slipping through your fingers, and that you want to have some years of ignorant bliss of that. And so this poem was made all the more poignant by the fact that it was a brevity, and then that it really compressed and condensed the shift in emotion.
Yeah, I like your quote, existential angst. That was great. Pam Ray, what did you think?
Wow, this is an amazing brevity. I mean, so much said in only 34 words. Definitely strong lines. It's nostalgic, but at the same time, like Robbie says, that end line brings in that existential crisis, speaking on the idea of acknowledging that it's the summers of your youth are over, that time is slipping through your fingers. So a wonderful write by Lynn and very well done.
Wonderful comment, Pam Ray. Thank you so much. But yeah, I like the summer of my youth. I mean, life is that way. You turn your head and it's gone. It's already barreled past. But I enjoyed the first stanza. Long-awaited summer, school let out, freedom within my grasp. Yeah, like you said, Robbie. How many kids didn't just like, woo, summer's here, burn my books. Give it. I forget something about teachers and dirty looks, but school's out for summer. Like Alice Cooper, wrote that song. School's out for summer, and I can just see him singing that. But the whole quickness of it. Like boom, you're a kid now. You're thinking about death, and that's definitely impactful. What an impactful brevity. Thank you so much for sharing, Lynn, and I appreciate the recording. Alrighty, where are we to next?
Well, up next we have The Summer of Love by Leaf Van Amsterdam. And go ahead, please, Gray, and give that a read.
All right. Take me back to the summer of love, with hippie gals who take it all off. Free love, and much less serious disease. I could indulge as much as I pleased, breaking free from the repressive times that held us back for so very long. I could see the Doors and Beatles live and sing along to every classic 60s song. I know I was born out of my era. I was meant to be a teenage flower child. I would have protested the war in Vietnam and tried everything in my power to stay alive. So, right to be suspicious of the government. Consumerism is another bogus concept. I wouldn't sit back, take it, and obey you. I would subvert normality and get the subliminal. End poem. I liked it. What did you think, Pam Ray?
Well, first of all, great read there, Rex. Why do I keep doing that? Oh my gosh. I think I'm just on too many shows with him or something.
That's just my lovely
Great,
character.
right? Great read there, Gray. Um, I really enjoyed this. I like that it took us back in time to a time period in history, the culture of that time period, the people of that time period, and is written in the voice of someone who feels like they would have fit in that time. I particularly liked the references to the music and the idea of the expression of self. put throughout this right. I like the impact of the line. Consumerism is another bogus concept. That is a really hard-hitting line. And then really liked, I could see the Doors and Beatles live and sing along to every classic 60s song. Wonderful lines and very well done by Leaf Van Amsterdam.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful comment. Thanks so much, Fan Race. And Robbie, what did you think?
I'm glad I made a comment there and really made John laugh. Something that really got me was when it said much less serious diseases, because now we have AIDS, we have COVID and that. And I remember a comment that a poet, Lady Blue, I think her name was, made way back. This is way back when I was on the Blog Talk poetry shows in my 20s, and she said, like, before you got penicillin or you got whatever, and you're basically okay. But now I think this is in the early 2000s, so AIDS was a little new still. And she said, but now you sleep with the wrong person, it can kill you. And that really, that's the thing, especially with that, and then now COVID, it really puts like this permanent, or it puts this, like, it etches something in the background of life that you have to be so much more careful. And so that really affected me when she mentioned that. And this kind of makes me feel that whole thing of when you feel like you're born out of time, sort of like you feel like you're born for another era. And that can be again, like the angsty, like the word I used before, it can be angst inducing, because you feel stuck, kind of like you're like, I don't belong here, but you obviously can't teleport yourself back in time or to another time period. And it makes me think about how people regard the 60s and that. And it's funny because I've heard that before, where we're always glamorizing the different eras of time. Like, oh, I would love to be back in the 60s. But then if you're back in the 60s, oh my God, race riots, we're going to die. That sort of thing. And people always kind of, they remember I understand what they're saying here, but it did remind me of when that does happen, where people look back on a period of history, but when they look back, like with kind of rose-colored glasses or like selective vision. So again, I'm not saying that that's what's happening here, but it did remind me of that.
Right. Yeah. For sure. But I can relate with the a hippie at heart thing. Being born into the wrong era, etc. Just because I've always felt that I was a flower child for sure. I was all free love and smoking pot and protesting at the park. That's in my heart for sure. Those days are gone, but um, now it's gas masks and mobs in the street. But yeah, I really enjoyed the rate. Summer of Love by Leaf Amsterdam was great. Thanks so much for sharing, Leaf. All right, where are we to next, Sammy? Or did you comment?
All right. Up next, we have A Summer's Day Remembered by Lulu G. And go ahead, please, Robbie, and give that a read for us.
All right. I just need to, I had closed one window and there we go. Okay, I unmuted. A Summer's Day Remembered. The wood meandered broad and far with countless shades of green, 'neath boughs warmed on a summer's day, with shadows brown between. And where the foliage interweaves, there stood a mighty pine, so tall and sombrous where it grew, enmeshed with wanton vine, with whispered sound beyond the breeze, to quell my childish fears. The pine sang low with murmurings of myths to feast mine ears, while old and withered boughs with glee spread o'er me where I lay, to rock me gently off to sleep, warmed on a summer's day. A summer's day, a day to dream, as blushing wide I smiled, with dreams of how the pine could talk to me, a musing child. So long now since my woodland walk, few years have surely passed, since warily beneath the shade, pine's mantle o'er me cast. End poem.
Beautiful read, Robbie. Thank you so much. And your thoughts, Sam Ray?
Yes, definitely a wonderful read there, Robbie. This has beautiful rhyme and flow, wonderful imagery. I love the way it brings summertime to life, the beauty of nature on a lovely summer day, but also how it speaks on the idea of the imagination of a child, and the story like imagination of a child who's meandering, who's walking through the woods. And I thought there was great lines throughout. But I did especially like that middle stanza. Just really, absolutely a feast for the senses and beautifully written, very well done by Lulu G.
Yeah, beautiful comment, Sam Ray. Thanks so much. But I too had a tree friend, and it was 100-year-old oak tree that I climbed every summer. I carved a few girlfriends' names into its bark. That wasn't good, but I bet you I could still go there and see that. But um, I really enjoyed the serenity and the peacefulness of this poem from the start. Like it starts with the wood meandered broad and far, with countless shades of green. Neat boughs warmed on summer's day, with shadows brown between, and where the foliage interweaves, there stood a mighty pine, so tall and sombrous where it grew, enmeshed with wanton vine. You know, um, Vines are horrible. They suck the life out of trees. They rob them of their groundwater and slowly kill them with their green foliage, taking over the ability of the tree to drink in the sunlight. But yeah, so tear the vine out because they're bad. But the tree is beautiful, and I really enjoyed your right, Lunaki. Yeah, beautifully done. All right, where would you next, family? Or actually, did you comment? Sorry.
I did, but I don't think Robbie did.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't.
Okay, Robbie,
Yeah.
yes, please.
Well, the where was I going to go first? I like the since warily beneath the shade, pine's mantle o'er me cast. I like that feeling of the sun giving shade. Sorry, the tree giving shade. If trees are known for one thing, it's giving shade. And trees are like these little, almost like these ecosystems. I remember how I saw this. I took a video. It's just insane because there must have been 1,000 starlings in this one evergreen. It was just a cacophony, like you just heard so much, and you could look at that tree for like an hour. You wouldn't be able to see one because they're so well hidden in it, and it just blew my mind that you could um, you could hear all these birds, and yet you couldn't see one. And trees are like these little worlds unto themselves. And I kind of got that feeling here with the with the trees and with the wood. And it it made me focus on the idea of trees as singular entities, like these little these like I say, these little ecosystems all unto themselves.
Are you on mute, Gray?
Yeah, I'm not. No. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Now we can
Oh,
hear you. Now I can hear you.
that's so weird. I don't know why my stuff keeps dropping. But anyway, I saw a documentary on trees on the west coast here that are, 100 years old, 200 years old, and their canopies hold their own ecosystem. Um, there's bugs and moths and stuff that aren't found anywhere else in the world that are in these treetops. So that's always fascinated me. And I'm a lover of trees. I'm a tree hugger at heart, I think. Um, there's just something so beautiful about trees. And but I really enjoyed the write, and it was beautifully done. So thank you so much for sharing, Ludugi.
Oh,
All right,
absolutely.
sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, great comment, Gray.
Thank you.
Um, all right. Well, up next we have Sun Drenched by Lost Blue Boy, and it goes like this. Red umbrellas under blue sky, shifting sands, frolicking waves, sun beating down, eyes looking up, wandering sight of desire's gaze, naked bodies like Greek statues, hair black or blonde, red-headed or brunette, slender shape, olive-kissed skin, summer beach sun, light between men, ignite fire to my skin, like cold cola on searing day, sun-drenched view douses my desire. And poem.
Beautiful read, Pam Ray. Thank you so much. And Robbie, what are your thoughts?
I think this was one of the most visual of the poems we've had, perhaps the most purely visual we've had so far. And oh, I was on the previous one here. There we go. Yeah, with the red under the blue sky, the red umbrellas, sun beating down, looking up, and how like the naked bodies like Greek statues. I think to myself that's definitely the most ideal. And sometimes when you see a body, on the beach or something, you're like, it's like, okay, well, he needs to spend a few months at the gym before he becomes a Greek god, or maybe a year. But
Yeah.
of course, this is I'm just being humorous because I know that this poem is looking at all the best of a scenario here, and yeah, I like the slender shape, olive kiss skin. Olive kiss skin is just so uh yeah, it's just so visual, and it makes me think of, again, this is like very much the best of what you can see on a beach or on a summer day, and it gives you this sense of relief when it says like cold cola on a searing day. And actually that's what I saw in one of the other poems, and I forgot to mention is there's very much a satisfaction of a relief of the relief you can get on a hot summer day. It's very satisfying, like a cold, like a cold mango slushy like I had today, um, or other cold drinks, or getting, splashing yourself down with water. There's such a there's such a refreshment to it. It's Winter has its own, like, when you're cuddling by the fire and that, but of course it's a much different feeling. And this is kind of like the summer equivalent of that, kind of like where you're relieving yourself from the excessive temperatures, except this in this case the heat as opposed to the cold.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks so much, Robbie. Yeah, this reminds me of Wreck Beach. It's a nude beach in Vancouver. and you got all these nude women frolicking around, and I mean, what better place to take off your clothing than a beach, really? You know, um, but I like to write by sun drenched by Little Boy Blue, Lost Boy Blue, sorry. Um, Naked bodies like Greek statues, hair black, blonde, redhead, or brunette, slender shapes, olive kissed skin. There's something so beautiful about free spirits just frolicking on the beach. So nicely done. And Pam Ray, what did you think?
This is a wonderful sensual write. It would have been great. I mean, it's great for tonight too, but it also would have been great for your Wednesday show coming up with sexy summer rights.
Yeah,
Um, Yep, yep. But beautifully written couplets, wonderful imagery. It's another one that's a treat for the senses. I like how this speaks on the idea of love and desire within the days of summer, and all the very visceral attraction of naked bodies like Greek statues. Wonderful lines and very well done by Lost Blue Boy. So very cool.
beautiful comment. Thank you so much, Pam Ray. All right,
Absolutely. Thank you.
where are we
And
to
up
next?
next we have One Summer by Barbara G. And okay, I am looking here. I believe it is Gray's turn. Yes. And go ahead, please, Gray, and give that a read for us.
Okay, sure. So we have One Summer by Barbara G. Indolent these torrid afternoons, melting at sunset's hour, painting a copper tint on a boy's smile. The candlelit sky, glowing succulent tangerine, casting flecks of gold within olive eyes, lighting up mine. Evening's mantle of silk chiffon lightly nuzzles our sun-bronzed skin. A cooling sea breeze, nudging us, coaxing us to dance. He touches my hand, we move the sand and the poem. Beautiful. What did you think, Robbie?
Sorry there. Yeah, the it had the nice especially when it ends off with he touches my hand, we move the sand. There's just something about the beach that is so amenable to romance and just ultimate relaxation. I think partly because it's so free in terms of because it's like hotter and that you can get away with just wearing your shorts, or shorts and a t-shirt and that, and it makes me think of how like the opposite, like it's one of the reasons I hate winter so much. I've always found it, and as I get older even more so, how it's like cloying and clustering to have to wear so much clothes to keep warm. And some people say, well, with summer, well, you can't, once you take off a certain amount, you can't take off anymore. I'm like, I'd still rather deal with that problem than you know have like 20 pounds of clothes on me, thank you. And I like it has some very summery descriptions, like the candlelit sky, growing succulent tangerine, casting flecks of gold with olive eyes, lighting up mine. And it has this very much has the fun loving, frolicky frolicky sort of energy that summer is known for.
Absolutely. Beautiful comment, Robbie. Thank you so much. And Pam Ray, what did you think?
Yeah, I really enjoy and appreciate the romantic feel of this right and how it speaks to me on young love. Brilliant imagery and metaphors and captivating lines throughout. I especially like the candlelit sky, glowing succulent tangerine, casting flecks of gold within olive eyes, lighting up mine. Wonderful lines and very well done by Barbara G.
Beautiful comment, Pam. Thanks so much. I like the gentleness. There's a tender and endearing, you know, right to this, and then it's imagery filled as well. I enjoyed evening's mantle of silk chiffon, lightly nuzzles our sun-bronzed skin. A cooling sea breeze nudges us, coaxing us to dance. He touches my hand. We move the sand. Beautifully done, Barbara G. Thanks so much for sharing. Okay, Pam Ray, where are we to next? Please and thank you.
Well, up next we have a lazy day of summer by David Meyerhoff. And Robbie, go ahead and give that a read for us, please.
No. Okay, go.
Oh, excuse me?
You'll
I
be in
know
that
better
dungeon
than
before you
that.
know it, boy.
I just said no to the wrong person. Lazy.
Right? Yeah. So crack that whip.
Lazy day of summer. Okay, straighten up, Robin. The butterflies were roaming, the flowers were shining, and the gentle wind seemed to blow everything around in the direction they were designed to. Nature was going as planned. No hurricanes, no inclement weather to upturn the natural beauty of a glorious early summer day. In picture perfect moments like these, many are able to luxuriate in the moment and simply be present. The past and the future are non existent, as the scenery is soaked in all its glory. There are others who can't seem to jive their understanding of life and all its turmoil with the tranquility of these moments. They actually place greater pressure on themselves to worry about something in the midst of this beauty so that they don't feel guilty. They are wasting time, even though time was not being wasted. We are reminded when we encounter these types that just as the butterflies and the flowers are doing exactly what they are supposed to be doing, so too, in the time we have to enjoy this natural expression, we are also doing exactly what we should be doing and leave our cares for another place and time. End poem.
Excellent read, Robbie. Thank you so much. And Pam Ray, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is a wonderful write by David Meyerhoff. I really like the central message that I get from this, and that is the idea that it's not a waste of time to relax, to take time to take in the warm sun, recharge your batteries. You don't have to be constantly on the move. And I thought there were just these really wonderful lines throughout, but I do especially like there are others who can't seem to jive their understanding of life and all its turmoil with the tranquility of those moments. They actually place greater pressure on themselves to worry about something in the midst of this beauty so that they don't feel guilty. They are wasting time, even though time was not being wasted. Wonderful lines and very well done.
Yeah, beautifully said. Thank you, Pam Ray. But it's summer is a time for relaxation and recuperation, in my humble opinion. You need to um, have a break, breathe once in a while, relax. Smell the fresh air, feel the sunshine, embrace the little bit of time that you get to luxuriate under those conditions. Um, because the rest of the year is filled with umbrellas and snow shovels, etc. When the summer is just, drinks and barbecues and beaches and there's something so beautiful about summer. I love summer. I've always been a fan of summer. And but yeah, beautifully done. Thank you so much for sharing, David Meyerhoff. And Robbie, your thoughts?
Oh, this very much reminded me of the experiences that I had on my trip when I went for my cousins to see my cousin's wedding there, because I think I'm trying to remember. I think I saw him too, but my brother was mentioning about we saw this one guy, and it's like, dude, you're in Maui. Come on, like take a chill pill. But I guess I think maybe he lived there and his job was there, so he wasn't on vacation. But anyways, he said, you don't do the payroll, people don't get paid, and he threw his phone into the ocean. And to me, that was so sad, and it's just so sad when you're surrounded by such beauty and that's what you're doing. And I remember the how I had felt like this ingrained fight or flight where I really truly did not have anything to worry about. But your mind, you don't realize it till you have all that taken away, all the worries taken away. Your mind and body get used to uh having worry. It's like it, even though it's not pleasant, it just becomes what you're used to having. And it's like looking for that input, or it's like I don't feel natural anymore. I'm not having to worry about this is actually not natural. And that really spoke to me when that happened. And I know that happens to other people too, where it's like they're so used to worry that when they actually don't have to worry about anything, their mind looks for something, or their mind isn't used to it. Then, and again, and their body too, the fight or flight. That says something to me that stress is so ingrained in anxiety in our society.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no doubt, Robbie. Great comment. Thank you so much. And Pam Ray.
Um, yes, yes. Well, up. Wait, did you comment, Gray? Because I've
Uh,
already commented.
oh, sorry. Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, I think I did. What?
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Then
I
I'll
think I
bring
did.
us. Okay, then I will bring us to the next poem, which is "Summer Nights" by Teresa Streshenkoff, and it goes like this. I long for those past summer nights, chasing fireflies with my friends, wishing would never end, playing release till the street lights came on, also playing hide and go seek in the dark. I just had the time of my life, thinking of those past summer nights. End poem.
Beautiful read, Pam Ray. Yeah, there's something so reminiscent about this poem that I think is so relatable to so many people. Um, I remember being a kid, chasing fireflies with my friends, and we all tried to get a bottle of them together to make a lamp. That was our goal, to have this firefly lamp. But I like that. It's youthful and it's energetic and it's beautiful. So thank you so much for sharing, Teresa. Yeah, great read, Pam Ray and Robbie. Your thoughts?
There we go. Uh, I noticed there's a lot of nostalgia in tonight's poetry, and a lot of maybe not nostalgia, sometimes nostalgia, but wistfulness too. And I think that makes sense because of the way summer is. It's like with winter you have, sometimes you have that with like the fireplace and that. But the thing is, with that, you're getting away from harsh cold. And in the summer, like you're cooling down from the heat, But for the most part, I would say for most people, like everybody's different, of course. Like some people aren't very resilient against the heat. But I would hazard a guess to say that for most people, it's easier for them to cool down rather than to get warmer. And I think of summer nights. I have a smile on my face thinking of the photography I took. I was outside of my place, and it was summer. It was summer, and it was just getting to dusk. And I took this gorgeous picture, and you see like these seagulls, the silhouette of seagulls in the air. And I texted that to a friend, and she said she noticed the same thing I did. She said, because it was outside of my work, and my work is just like this big box store, and she said, this you're making this look like a lot nicer of a place than it is. Like I made it look like some glamorous night out on Miami when I'm just
Right.
waiting to get home from work on the bus. But I
Yeah.
managed to capture that beauty. And I think more than any other season, summer has that certain glamour to it. And I think that this captured that, playing release till the street lights came on. Also playing hide and seek in the dark. And that the thing is, the transition, I think, to dusk in summer is especially beautiful. So they captured that there as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fantastic comment, Robbie. Thank you so much. And Pam Ray, your thoughts?
Oh, this is a beautifully written brevity by Teresa Streshenkov. Wonderful imagery and nostalgic lines. I too found this very relatable with the gathering of fireflies and the playing tag at nighttime. Just absolutely a delight to read and very well done.
Absolutely beautiful comment, Pam Ray. Thank you so much. All right. Where we to next, Pam Ray?
All right. Grabbing the next one and all right. Up next, we have Summer Sounds by Sonia3902Z. And go ahead, please, Gray, and give that a read for us.
Okie dokie. Sounds of children laughing, chasing balls and happy running, waves dancing on the shores, tempting little feet to jump with joy, while bold sandcastles stand victoriously until they are swept away by the sea. Blankets spread on golden beaches, holding sunbathers caressed by summer music, who are grasping minute thoughts of yesterday, of nameless faces, of old friends, and songs they sang together, all part of the summer sounds of long ago. End poem. Oh, nicely written. And Robbie, your thoughts?
Well, it was sweet to get a poem here that was focused specifically on the joy of children in summer. Definitely, because it's that, especially like we were saying before, school's out for summer. It really is like a season for kids. It's because it's the most free season. If you're a student, then you're out of school, and if you're just, yeah, like, even, and if you're not in school, you just, it's the season where you can do the most, I think. And it captured that freedom that children in particular have in the summer. And I think that that's a very beautiful energy. It's a beautiful thing to express, and it's something I appreciate more and more as I get older in life, because before I was uncomfortable. Like I felt like children were like glass, like, oh, they're so fragile. I just get within 50 miles of one, and like, like just kind of that paranoid feeling. But as I got um better with myself, then then I felt that feeling went away, and I started to appreciate more what it is that childhood is about, and nurturing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely a youthful vibe emanating from the poem. Um, I thought it was a lovely read, really. What did you think, Pam?
Oh, this is just an absolute delight to read. It put a smile on my face. I like the imagery, and I just really enjoy and appreciate how she brings in the sounds of summer, and how it is a celebration and a wonderful time for children, and great lines throughout and very well done.
Beautiful comment. Thank you so much, Pam. All right. Well, it's 9 o'clock. I don't know. Do you want to finish that last poem? I think there's only one left. If I'm correct.
We might as well. I mean,
Alrighty.
yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
So, all right. So, our last poem for the night is The Steel Bird by Patty Mike. And let's see here. Robbie, go ahead and give that a read for us, please.
All right. The Steel Bird by Patty Mike. Souring still, the steel bird takes his flight, above in highest of puffy clouds, snowy white, cutting through, piercing right into the wind like a demon barber's steady knife. Soaked and bloodied, stained, a Teflon epidermis forged, shined, sharp and hot, absorbing from the summer's sun, blinding, burning bright. His wings outstretched, reaching, touching the brow of Shangri-La's crown, and plucking a jewel from the crest before he returns home to rest. Then the river with the utmost of haste, but she collapses, giving her into her exhaustion from her vanity chase, from her vainly chase. He passes through the ethereal portal door into never traveled lands before, netting to capture treasures encased in unsealed memory chests. By a memory quill, freshly wet, aching to scribe, newer ink onto his lover, the parchments inviting back, bathing naked on the roof, in moonlight's domain, gleaming glare, free and bare. End poem.
Beautiful read, Robbie. Would you mind reading the author's notes, please?
Yes, I wasn't too sure we're gonna. Uh, this poem is about my trip to Florida back in the summer of 2023. Whenever I flew in to go see my longtime friend Chris, who lived in Winter Park, a suburb of Orlando. This was about the way to, inspired by the flight to the state. This was my second time ever on an airplane.
Nice. Thank you, Robbie. And Pam Ray, what are your thoughts? What did you think?
This definitely had strong visceral imagery and metaphors. I really enjoy and appreciate his description of the view and his description of the plane. And I thought there was great lines throughout, but I especially like his wings outstretched, reaching, touching the brow of Shangri-La's crown, and plucking a jewel from the crest before he returns home to rest. Wonderful lines and very well done.
Beautiful comment, Pam Ray. Thank you so much. And yeah, I really enjoyed the raid as well. You can see everything that he's mentioning here. You can feel the excitement of the trip. Um, there's just something so powerful about flying that it really just takes you to another place. Um, Actually, it literally does take you to another place. But I can remember my first time flying, and it was quite exciting, really, to be up in the clouds, looking down upon the earth, and seeing that outer space. Like you're looking down on the landscape, and it seems so small. Um, that it's hard to imagine that you're flying. and yet you are. So I liked it a lot. And Robbie, what did you think?
Well, I like how he has the imagery of the steel bird that kind of that gives it more of a life than it would normally have than airplane, and this really gives life to that plane trip, the steel bird, the puffy clouds, the snowy white, and that. And he had a kind of interesting offbeat pattern to his poetry. I always noticed that because I love offbeats in music, especially like in hip hop music, that kind, and like purely like instrumental techno music. And so I love hearing offbeats in poetry too. There's just something about offbeats that gives a verse more life to me in my ears. So yeah, it was nice to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'd like to thank you both for calling in to share your hearts, your minds, your voices, and most especially your time. Much love, Pam and Robbie, and everybody that tuned in and will listen. Appreciate you all. All right. Have a wonderful night. Good night, everybody.